Welcome to GBIRL, the podcast looking at the real business world of esports, gaming, and streaming with the people and personalities behind it all. Here is your host, Bill the Conqueror.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Now, I have stated many times over the past couple of years that I've been doing this podcast that the gaming world is this massive congregation of people that love what they do. It's communities. It's people who love many games and they find friends that they would never normally meet, but it's extremely fragmented. And what I mean by that is people who play StarCraft don't normally talk to people who play Street Fighter. People who play Halo don't normally talk to people who play who play League of Legends. What we have is a lot of silos, and those silos don't normally touch. And I've always wondered if there's a way for individual creators to best, how do I phrase this, to best capture their tribe in one spot, because you have YouTube, but you're always subject to YouTube's rules. You have Twitch, but you're always subject to Twitch's rules. Where's a place that you can be, that your community can live, that you can have all your content in one spot instead of on 5 or 6 different platforms, TikTok, Twitter, I use LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, if you're on Glimish, if you're on Trovo, wherever that is. And I have with me today, I have spoken with him before. He used to be my boss, actually, when we worked together. But now we're here to talk about Playmotto.gg. You see right there on the screen. Silver Padilla, he is the founder and CEO of Playmotto. And we're going to get into exactly what Playmotto is, how it came to be, why it exists. But first of all, my friend, thanks for talking to me today. I appreciate it.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on today. And yeah, like I said, you touched on a lot of good subjects, and obviously we have a history, of working on projects together, and so I've been around for quite some time. I mean, I can tell you, I think you know the story, but for those that don't know, I started with Counter-Strike, doing an alpha test back in the old compact PC days when that was the computer to have, and
Right.
or Sony's, if you remember those. And so what happened is fast forward in 2001, played Halo, became a Halo Pro player, and then there wasn't all this money going around, so you had to find your own way. A lot of the people didn't have means of travel, and so fast forward a decade, through Justin TV, after streaming on Justin TV as well. And so I decided to stop streaming and go on the business side of things. And it really, business has always fascinated me. And so there's a lot to do. I've owned teams. With other people, I've owned organizations myself.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days when it was a lot easier to own orgs, where you didn't need $25 million to jump into the Overwatch League or the Call of Duty League, right?
Right,
So
right.
So a lot of things have changed, and I'll tell you that one thing that has not, and it's only growing, is the content creators, and
Right.
So obviously with COVID hitting in the beginning of last year in 2020, we saw a big 700% increase in streams,
Mm-hmm.
and streamers. And so that was something big that I've always known. I mean, we had streamers back in our old,
Right.
I guess gig, if you want to call it that. But in our last project, we had streamers. And so those streamers and all these stream teams that you see everywhere,
Right.
they don't really have tools and services to help them out. Yeah, there's a Twitch. You heard from Harris Heller how Twitch is just a streaming platform, but now the content creators are expecting more. It's evolving. And with that evolution has to come a new platform that is going to be able to provide these tools and services for the content creators to be able to manage not only their own network, but continue building their communities, and in the same time continue the engagement, but also have the means to be able to adapt to the changing environment. And so that's the reason he decided to go to YouTube, because he felt like for a streaming platform, it allowed for more tools and services. Well,
Right.
Playmotto is creating a tools and service network that is basically essentially just focused for content creators.
Perfect, and that's what I want to get into. Is I've looked at your site, and we're going to
Hmm.
get into the nuts and bolts here in a bit. But I mean, when you first built this, and it's not like you just showed up one day and built this. You've been actually working on this project for a while and trying to get it refined to a point. It's on blockchain. You have a lot of features built into it, and as you have talked about it, as you have put it in front of other creators, as you have shown it not just to creators but also brands,
Hmm.
because 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 brands and companies have realized that one aside from major sporting events and major, I guess, news events, the old school traditional media is dead. TV is insanely expensive and only reaches a certain number of people. Newspapers are worthless. Radio not is usually not targeted to the audiences that a lot of these brands want to hit, and brands have realized that you can spend less but you can hyper target specific demographics through content creators, through certain games, through certain platforms. And so I wanted to get into a little bit behind Playmotto. What's your thought process there when it comes to creators? I'm even a creator that has like 10,000 people that follow
Hmm.
them consistently. That still isn't a huge number. When you think about major television programs like the NFL, like WWE, those programs routinely pull in 1.5 a million people on a regular basis or more. If you're talking the NFL, if you're talking the NBA, they get
Hmm.
massive engagement. So where's the value for a creator who has 10 to 15,000 followers and maybe has an engagement rate off of that of about 20%?
Well, the problem is you mentioned a lot of, silos in the
Yeah.
past, right? And
Yep.
and so one of the things what happens with, having the ability to just, hey, let me pay I want to buy a commercial at the Super Bowl. You know that
Right.
there's a big audience that's going to watch the commercials at the Super Bowl.
Right.
But the thing is that you're also hopeful that you're just putting your brand in front of millions of people to watch, but really how many people are buying, right?
Right.
And so those are some of the things that there's not a specific targeted group of individuals that you're actually focusing on, but you're focusing more on, hey, let me kind of throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks and who bites and who doesn't.
Right.
So what we decided to do was, with Playmotto, the platform, we decided to be able to give it that opportunity right now. And I got to explain, I got to take two steps back to explain what that means and why, right? But right
Right.
now you have Discord, and when you build a Discord community, there's people that have, thousands of people in there, right?
Right.
Following. You take Nick Merckx, you take Swags of the world, those
Right.
kind of big influencers, and they have millions of people in there. Well, hundreds of thousands. I don't know about millions yet. I haven't seen anyone with millions yet, but they do have maybe hundreds of thousands, stuff like that, right? But the thing with that is that even if you create different groups within Discord, when you message a group, it spams everyone.
Right.
And so a lot of the people are taking to building Facebook groups, right? So they go to Facebook groups and now they're on a different platform, right? So
Right.
now you got a different platform you got to manage. And then you want to put out a different post and a blog, your own blog, and try to get engagement from people on that blog. And now you go over to Reddit, right? So you do forum posts, which is
Right.
Reddit.
Right.
And then you want to really write an article, as you said, because newspapers are almost irrelevant now. So you could
Right.
find anything on the digital world now. So now you go to Medium, you write your blog, and then you share that, and then people have to click it and goes back to Medium, right, to be able to read it.
Right.
And so when you're looking at all that, there's so many different platforms that creators have to manage. And some of these creators, like you said, the smaller creators, they don't, they have to take a lot of time out of their day
Right.
focusing on the content because of that. And so one of the and again, and they have to be able to now target different groups in different platforms,
Right.
and they don't even necessarily know what the demographic is like, who really is following them because of what. Because
Okay.
if that, let's say that you do your your interviews, right, Bill,
Yep.
but you're also play Destiny.
Yep.
So how many people are following you because of Destiny, or and how many people are following you because of your interviews that you do?
Right.
And so right now you don't really know.
Right.
You just know that you have a follower, and you know that that follower may or may not be watching both things that you're doing.
Right.
And so because of that, you would have to create separate groups if you really wanted to find out. And the only way to do it really right now is Facebook groups.
Okay.
And so, or creating your own website and trying to figure out within your website how to be able to tell your groups apart, or doing polls and stuff like that, which is really inconsistent. So it comes back to the TVs and everything. When they're putting stuff out there, how do when you're who's there because watching the commercial because it's funny,
Right.
or they don't know what to expect and they just want to watch the commercials during the Super Bowl, or is it because they're really interested in the product, right? And so those are the main, I think, issues right now that a lot of the marketing groups are going through. And so because of that, we decided, like, okay, there's a lot of creators out there. Okay.
Yep.
And so the power of the creator is to continue to grow, is continuing to rise. I see smaller creators getting deals where, hey, we'll sponsor your next YouTube video, we'll sponsor your next stream.
Right.
Help us, raise Shadow Legends right now. I could tell you they're big right now.
Yep.
I'm pushing people to do it. I did it just to get an idea of what that looks like.
Right.
And how many people actually want to support me because of that, right? And so I wanted to, I'm down in the trenches, really, doing everything a content creator does. I'm streaming every day. I find the time to stream every day. I find the times to get up some TikTok videos, to get some YouTube videos, which I'm really bad at, doing myself. But
Right.
it just, I need to understand how much is evolving and how much work is put into it. And because of that, we decided, okay, it's time to build a single platform that we can house all of these tools and services, that we can then say, hey, creator, here you go. All you have to do is fill out your Playmotto profile,
Right.
and everything else is done by the platform. And so that's how Playmotto was born.
Okay, and that last little bit right there, just it actually answers one of the questions that I have. Is that what is keeping me as a creator, and somebody who's maybe, like I said, 10 to 15,000. They have some funds. They don't have a ton, but maybe they have enough to function on, maybe get some new equipment. What's to keep that creator from creating their own website on their own, finding somebody who can develop the website for them and create the tools as we go? Is it just basically a funding thing? Are there things that you offer on the back end where it saves the creator a time?
Yeah, all the above. I
Okay,
mean,
got it.
it's when you build your own website. I mean, a lot of people could go build it themselves. Like I
Right.
said, you look at Nick Merck's, his mfam.gg website. It's a really good. I like using that a lot because he built it to be able to engage his community. They did the mfam tournaments, and all that stuff. So I really, really love using that as an example, because when I was talking to his mods, it takes a lot of time, right? It took
Yeah.
a lot of time to develop it. They have since changed it a bunch of times. And then you have Tim the Tapman that went and created his own website to be able to put his merch on there.
Right.
And it takes a lot of time to be able to update stuff and everything, so they have to have a developer, on hand and paying them to be able to make the changes that they want as they go.
Right.
So first of all, yes, the money situation, that you have to put up as an investment is there. The other thing is when you start talking about, time. Again, time is key for a content creator.
Right.
All right. What makes a successful content creator is allowing him to do what he does best, and that's create content. if you have them worry about all the other specifics about, how am I going to get this out? What kind of, how am I going to gauge my community? Where am I going to gauge my community? What platforms are my community the most active in and everything? Then again, that's time taken from what they could be doing again, and that's creating content. So Playmotto provides those tools and services, provides the peace of mind, and provides everything in one platform. So again, you don't have to worry about, what's next.
Right, and it's very important to point that out, because a lot of people believe you can just purchase one of those drag and drop sites and add in some plugins and you're done. It's like no. It's a little bit more complicated than that. The constant updates, being able to have interaction, chat, things like that. There's a lot that goes into the back end of a website. I know this for a fact because I've done some coding myself. There's a lot that goes in the back of the website that no one will ever understand, and nobody actually even cares about. Nobody cares. They just know, website, do it, and they don't care how or why it works. They just want it to work. So let's get into an actual page that you have, and let's take a look at your page that you've set up for yourself. Because I think it'll be very informative. You can talk about all the pieces, how and why they exist, some things that you can customize, and things that you can move around. So go ahead and share your screen, and I will switch my screen as well, and we will go from there, sir. All right, so see on the screen right there, that is your personal network right there, right?
That is correct. This is my personal network. This is a prototype, okay? So obviously, we built this as a prototype. This is what I showcase people.
Right.
This is going to continue to evolve, okay, as we continue development, as it moves to the blockchain and everything, and the whole front end meets the back end, the tech stack. This will change.
Got it. Okay, so what I see is, so on the upper right you have yourself, you've signed in, and then on then across the top you have a newsletter, you have the home, you have your own network, and then you have, so what that looks like in the background. So basically what you've created is sort of like you have some stream highlights there, right?
I do. So right now, I mean, this is just like the front of the page, right? When you land, this is your home page where everyone sees. So, again, they could go home. This is a newsletter, but it gives them a little profile about you, who you are and everything, right? And then it also allows you to put all your social media in here, whatever you want. As you can see, Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and it also allows for Anchor and your Medium as well accounts.
Okay.
So if you do podcasts, Anchor is very important to you.
Yep.
If you do blogs, Medium is very important to you. So you can also add them onto your profile.
Right.
But for me, as an actual individual content creator, I could skip any of the sides. And if I want to see what the activity is, I could click on activities.
Right.
I could find out when my notifications are up here. Also, I could just go to manage my settings, and I could go directly to start a new forum if I want to. So sometimes there's some juicy information that a lot of content creators like to share,
right?
And so they'll you could start a new forum and right away from here. So this is, again, and it'll take me right to my page. So one of the things I wanted to make sure that people knew was when you click up here on the messages, it takes you right directly. And as you can see, we wanted to do it as what people were used to already, just kind of like Facebook Messenger, where everything's in here. And this is all testing. So again, you can see that your messages will be here, or any messages, and then it pops up here in the system right away. So you'll have the same capabilities as that. We wanted to change nothing different. It tells you how many participants there is. Right. Everyone's in here, right? So those are some of the features that we wanted to keep that were easy to use. Now, when we go to our news feed, you guys can start seeing the product starts looking like your own social media. And so one of the things I want you to know is that this network, we call it a network because it has everything. We don't call it a social media platform. It might have functions like a social media platform, but in reality, this is your own private network. So if I was to go and search anyone, I can only search the members. I can't search anyone else's profile like you can on a regular social media. This is my network and my network alone. So anything that goes on here and anyone that's in here, is because I or my mods or anyone that manages this platform for me, this network, allowed in here or has allowed anything. So again, when we
Okay.
talk about
Okay.
having your members, this is it. Right now, we're doing again, this is a really alpha prototype testing. So we've only allowed a few members to come in just to get some ideas. And so this is what it is. So when we post, obviously you could do pinned posts just because that works a lot. So we wanted to keep, again, some of the things that are already working. Why reinvent the wheel? But also I could come in here and start sharing any information and people could comment and like and everything, just like any other of the platforms. Okay. So the cool thing that we added on here, though, some of the functions is not only can you do a picture, but this also allows you to create a slideshow.
Okay.
So you could create your own slideshow here. You can actually quote people. So if you wanted to put a quote, this gives you the entire format for you to put the quote, who set the quote, etc. Obviously, GIFs are very important, so we wanted to do GIFs. But one thing that we added different as well here was the ability to share files. So just
Okay.
like Discord allows you to share certain files up to a certain amount, or Skype, stuff like that people really like, you can actually share files here with different people. And that's become very important to a lot of content creators.
Yep.
Just because some of them, so if you take, for instance, JGod and a lot of the guys that, talk about different weapons for Warzone and stuff like that, they use a lot of files like Google Drives and stuff like that.
Yep.
So now they could just have it here. You can also do videos from here. Obviously, audio. We're talking about audio, so you could do any podcast that you do. You can actually share it directly in here. So it lets people know it's an audio. So this way, instead of having to click and go somewhere, you're automatically here already. And then again, any links that you want to share on here. And so one of the things we wanted to do different was have a rating card for each user. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. It's going to change a little bit, but as you can see, it's almost like a Yelp review. So people have ratings 5 out of 5. I think these people were generous. It's probably my business partners, so they gave me 5 stars. Hey, what can I say? I'm a good, likable guy, right? But these guys don't have any stars, right? So you can see some of them have it, some don't. And so a lot of these, what's going to happen is that a lot of these people, when you're giving out reviews, this is very important now in age, because there's a lot of people that might know, like, hey, Mr. Marcel Boy is and this is, okay, nothing to do with this guy, but I'm just saying, this is just a scenario, okay, is that they might have been harassing people. Okay. And so he shows up to your network and basically people, Olaf Slayer over here might recognize him, say, hey, I remember him. He was very bad and was toxic with other people, other communities. Maybe he even was stalking someone, and and because that's happening a lot right now.
Yep.
So what this person will do, will give them a rating, and then it'll send a Yelp review, kind of like a Yelp review, or equivalent to a Yelp review, to the moderators and the owner of the network, and let them know that Olaf is submitting a review on this person, and they're able to go in there and make their own judgment whether they approve it or not. Okay. And so, and it could work the other way. Maybe Olaf just doesn't like Mr. Marcel Boy over here, and he talks bad about him.
Okay.
But then the network people know him and say, no, I think, we know Mr. Marcel. He's been around for a while and he's a good person, and so they might disregard him and send him a message back. And now they could actually have a conversation with him on why he gave that bad review, I
was going to ask about that because I can see it working both ways. I can see something like that working for the community. It's like, hey, this person seems to jump around from, one community to another. He shows up, and then about 3-4 days in, he starts, stirring up drama and causing trouble. And then from the other side, you can have people in the community who said, oh, this guy's a jerk because he did X, Y, and Z, and he wasn't nice to me. But then you're like, well, wait a minute, this guy, I've never had that problem before with this person. And so having that extra layer of having the mods involved and having the people who help to manage your content and manage the network is nice.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. With a lot of the Yelp reviews that I see, some of the people shouldn't be able to post Yelp reviews,
Right.
not because they just didn't like or they're the ones that caused trouble, but and the customer's always right type approach, right? So in this case, we knew that the customer's not always right, and therefore we have to be as transparent as possible and give the benefit of the doubt to both sides.
Right.
Okay, so because of that, this is why we approached our social ranking system the way we did and review system.
Got it.
So up here is very easy. I could come at a review, or I can even verify, because I own the network, I could verify this account, or any of my admins could verify an account, kind of like you do with Twitter verification stuff.
Right.
And then you'll see Olaf Slayer has a check mark. That means he's been verified. We know who he is. We verified that he's good and everything. And so yeah. So we want to get everyone verified that is in our system. And then I could unfriend them, follow, or message them from here. So and this is going to evolve because we're adding a lot more stuff to this. I won't disclose it just yet.
Sure.
But just know that this is going to evolve to something way different. It's just we come across those NDAs where we can't say stuff because we are working on a partnership right now that is going to really change this specific category. So
nice. Okay. Good.
But let me jump right away, and then, like I said, I'll fly through this. But here's the groups. Now you're going to have your own groups here, so you could create whatever you want, right? The metaverse, people could join it, and it tells you how many members, all that. So if let's say that I love Mutant Football League, I could join Mutant Football League. If I like to learn more about the metaverse, let me join and learn about, hey, maybe I like anime. Let me go ahead and jump on anime, which I do, by the way. And then obviously everything Warzone, I'll jump in there. And I don't like these two groups. I don't know what they are. I don't really care about them, right? Okay. So now this is where you start targeting your audience. Now you know that if you have a company that says, hey, we're going to be selling, anime focused cosplay stuff, then you could come into this group and you can now, market to that group.
Yeah. See,
and so
that's that's an interesting feature because I know that I follow some creators just for a single game they play. I might not hang out with them the rest of the time, but I like their content for one single game they play, but they do other things. They have other kinds of streams. They have community nights where they play various games, but I'm not interested in that. But if I follow you and I love Mutant Football League, but I don't give a darn about anime and I don't play Warzone anymore, I don't care. But so I want to be able to find your content about that, right?
That is correct. And so that's the one thing where we found there was a big gap of I brought up the question of how many creators know their community. And I will tell you, unless you've been with them or sub with them for a very long time, they don't know you. Right. They don't know. It's impossible to know your entire community. And because of that, we call this project Know Your Community. Okay. And so this project about Know Your Community is all about, understanding why are they here? Why are they following you? Why are they engage with you? Why do they stay with you, and how to continue to engage them? And because of that, so they don't leave, and they may invite other friends and continue. And again, that helps grow your network, right? So a lot of these questions was asked, and then we came up with the groups. That's very important. The ability to, I don't want to call them silo them, but it gives an opportunity for people to understand, like, oh, wow, okay, anime, I wonder what he's doing. And they could join and learn more about anime versus having to force anime down their throat. And so those were one of the things that I dislike about Discord, is that it just spams everybody. Doesn't matter, right? If you create a specific hashtag chat in Discord, it still spams the entire Discord. Okay, yeah, so there's no way around it. I know they have @here, but it still spams everyone. It doesn't matter, like I said. So these are some of the, and again, instead of having to leave to Facebook groups and everything, we wanted to make sure that we actually created, this specific groups within your own network. Yes, sir.
Just right there, That's a great selling point, is that I only want to hear the things that I want to hear. And if I'm curious about something else, I can actively seek that. Whereas having constant messages thrown at me, it's like, I'm just going to mute this entire server because, it seems like seems like all these people are talking about something I don't really care about, and I only follow this creator because I like the Mutant Football League. And you know what? There's 6 other people I know that play Mutant Football, and I'm getting too many freaking messages that don't have anything to do with anything I care about. So what I'm gonna, I'm just gonna leave this server altogether. But this option gives people the choice of, I only want to hear these messages from this group. That's it, and that gives the it seems like you give the community control while also giving the creator the ability to really segment out who does what.
That is correct. With this platform, we're empowering the content creators themselves,
Right.
okay, to be able to manage their community or their networks while continuing to grow their communities. And so we wanted to empower them to have that ability by providing them tools and services through this platform. But at the same time, we knew that nobody likes being controlled and nobody likes to be told,
Right.
if you follow me, you have to listen to everything I say, kind of deal,
Right.
or everything I share. So because of that, we knew that we had to also empower the user and the community member throughout these networks. And because of that, that's how we came up with, groups are very important.
Right.
And we got to be able to, allow them to choose what they want to hear and what they want and why are they here for this creator.
Right.
So this is why, again, this segment of or section of the platform was created.
Nice. Okay, cool.
All right. So the other things, again, we talked about was forums, right? So as you can
Right.
see, this is, instead of having to go leave to Reddit, you could do your own stuff here. So you could create your own stuff. So as you can see right now, we use the groups as an example, but you can just create your whatever forum you want,
Right.
So we know that people love using Reddit because of the forum, specific. But now you could create a personalized one where you're able to do it with just your network and there is no outside influence on this specific topic that you might want to talk about.
Okay.
And so whatever it is, maybe you're talking about, maybe we play this game. What do you guys think? Let's talk about it. What was your feedback? And because this is your community, now you're making it more private with them. And so because of that, they feel, more valued, that their word is meant, it's being heard, instead of, hey, he posted on Reddit, there's millions of people over there.
Right.
I can't, everyone else is influenced and I'm not being heard and I'm the community member. So we've seen that. And again, this is years of just looking at the, from the outside in, and then also being in the trenches of trying to get, provide my feedback to some of the influencers, just
Right.
like I've put a post where I expected my community to go in there, but I got messages from people that are never heard of,
Right.
And
exactly.
so because of that, we wanted to make sure that people are able to have that kind of one-on-one with their own network and community. And this is why we included the forums here.
Got it.
And one thing that we wanted to do is allow you to also reward those that might follow you that also stream. So we wanted to make sure that, hey, and this is all reward based, and we'll get to that. I'll go back to the other. I'll show you the other one because the other one's a full more concept. And again, it's still prototype, but it shows more of the concept. This is a live prototype. The other one is just for show. But again, it allows us to, and you'll get a better feeling of what that's going to look like. But this one allows you to be more like, hey, let's, you know what, these people have been achieving some of the quests. They've been doing some of the, getting some of the basically badges that we've put out there because they've engaged, they've done certain things. You know what? Let me support my own community and allow them to put their stream on my network, so that now they're not only helping me, but I'm also returning the favor and helping them, because a lot of the content creators want to help their community. They just don't know how, right?
Right.
And so because of that, we're providing a place where if they want to help their own community grows as well, they could share them here. And this allows for people to get more engagements from their community because they could earn a spot in their stream section.
Got it. Okay.
And so let me go really quick. Let me know if it switches over for you really quick.
Yep.
All right. So this is kind of what, this is an example of what the platform could look like. One of the things that we didn't show, just so you know, is called the overview, which is all the analytics that is very important to content creators.
Got it.
So again, the other one, because it's a prototype, none of this is included in there, but this one is live. So again, this is one of the things that you can see, that it's actually has all the analytics. And what's very important to us as content creators, we want to know how many likes we're getting, how many loves, dislikes, happies, funnies, right? All that stuff.
Right.
How many engagements we had today, how many profile views, and the very important is who's doing what. And that is something that I wanted to make sure that was included in here, because right now, everything is either a like or an emoji or an emote or something or a post, but I don't really know who's doing anything. So now we're going to capture everything that you do on this person's network. Is going to be captured, and they're going to be able to see, like, and by that, they're going to be able to see who my top reactor of last month was, who's my top reactor of all times, who's my top commentator of the last month and of all times. And this sky's the limit with this, by the way. This is just, like you said, some of the most popular posts, but this is also some of the most popular things that people look for. But again, it's just like, when you're streaming, you want to know who donated money and all that stuff. So we thought, why don't we take that concept and input it into the platform with the analytics, and be able to tell people who those people are, right? And again, very important, Google Analytics, Facebook Analytics, Instagram, Twitter Analytics now, right? You're able to see what your top post was, how many engagements you're getting. So we didn't want to take away from that. But as you can see, all the personal activities there as well from the creator. So they're able to see everything that they've done in the past as well to track their own selves. And then it, again, very important for us as a content creator, and talking to about 100 different content creators from small to big. They want to know who was their last friend at it, just like who was our last follower on stream, right? Last post update, when was it? And they want to be reminded and everything, most commented posts, because guess what? If they understand what people are liking, they could try to duplicate it and replicate it in a different format, And so again, very important analytics, a lot of stuff here, most shared posts and stuff like that. So this only helps to their analytics. And then we're talking about the badge system. So let me go ahead and this is the gamification portion of it. So we wanted to provide badges for the creators to earn. So this way we get off the platform, us as Playmotto, get engagement from these content creators. And so we're going to give them badges. So every time they do something, they'll earn these badges, and it'll be right on their profile. So you can see Brown, and I'll show you how that works right now and where you can find it. Okay. So the Browns user, again, has posted more than one post on their profile. Cool. They unlocked that. That's right away, right? More than 100 posts, etc. Forum traveler created at least one topic on 5 different forum groups. So again, all about engagement from the creator, but also from the actual community. Okay, so there's, again, sky's the limit with this when you keep going. Okay, so I'm not going to go through everything, but just to give you an idea of how that works. So this is for both the creator and the actual community. And then there's going to be quests. Okay, these quests are also for not only the content creators, but the content creators could use these in their network for their community. And the more their community do quests, they earn the token, the creator token, which we're also implementing a creator token. Okay, so the creators are going to have their own tokens, and then those tokens will be converted into Playmotto tokens, and then they'll be able to buy stuff from the marketplace, or they could just donate them back. They'll have to exchange it for the Playmotto token, and they could actually donate those back or gift them back to the creator themselves. So this way, if they don't have money, if they don't have a Prime, they don't have $5 to sub to you, they can actually, by doing quests, they can earn and show their support by being able to be on your platform, earning those tokens, and then being able to provide you tokens, because then they're turned into cash by us.
Nice.
So there's a bunch of quests here. Okay, and it keeps going on. So I won't bore you with that. But one of the things that I wanted to show you was the members. Okay. Here's where you see all the badges. Okay.
Okay, got it.
So again, you can see this is a little different. They don't have their social media and everything. So again, the other one's a prototype, but this gives you a better picture of what I showed you on my own network.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. So anyways, these are where all the badges are that they've earned. So
Okay.
and then when you go to the streams, you can see the streams look a lot cooler here, right?
Yep.
So here's all the channel stuff. And again, anything that's been live, you browse all streams. So again, this will be as big as the creator wants it to be.
Got it.
So let me ask you one question, Bill.
Sure.
Where do people know what you're up to next? How do they know? How does your community know?
I have established the fact that I hang out on Twitter and LinkedIn.
Okay.
And so if I want to get the most personal engagement to direct people, like I have a new podcast live, I'm live on Twitch, I have a new YouTube video talking about whatever, I post it on those two sites.
Okay, so you got to do posts so people know when you're going to go live, when
Right.
you're going to do something event. Well, we took care of that for you.
Okay.
We gave you an event calendar right on the platform.
Okay.
So now you're able to put whatever you're going to do, however you're going to do it, and it not only sends out notifications for your people, but they can actually see upcoming events as well.
Got it.
So this is something that we wanted to make sure we took care of, because this is one of the biggest time wasters, if you ask me, and obviously you just mentioned it, for any content creator to have to try to, bring their community together to wherever they're going to do. And so this is why the reasons why we brought this up. And again, we already touched on forums, so I'm not going to touch on that.
Yep.
But this is very important, the marketplace.
Yep.
And the marketplace, we took little bits and pieces of, if you will, of the best marketplaces out there. So a little bit of the Amazon kind of approach with a mix of eBay, but we gamify, and a bit of Deal Dash, if you will.
Okay.
So we're going to gamify all this. One things that we're adding onto the platform is going to be games. So you're going to be able to play video games and engage and they're HTML-based, web-based games. So you don't have to download anything. You just play it on here, but you'll be able to play for certain items on the marketplace as well. And then people can post like, hey, maybe I have a stream team, or I have a content creator that does all my graphics or creates my videos. That person's going to be able to sell their stuff just like you would on Fiverr, and you'll be able to you find them on here as well.
Right.
And the good thing about this is that anyone that we're partnered with, this is a thing that goes back to your first thing about how does a brand are able to target people, right? And how they're able to get to those individuals. And so it doesn't matter if you have 100 followers or you have 1 million followers or 4 million or whatever it is, because now it's getting out of hand. But anyways, you get the point, right? And so anyone that Playmotto is partnered with, they're going to be able to grab the actual brand, and they're going to be able to put link on here, like almost like affiliate marketing.
Okay.
And they're going to be able to, and people are, and their community are going to be able to come here, and if they click here and buy it, then we share 50% of the revenue with the content creator.
Okay.
So they're able to make all their money, and they could sell their merchandise here. They could sell whatever they want. Okay. So again, one of the things that we're working on is to make sure that the content creators have everything that they need to be able to do things. One other thing that we thought of, because again, we talked about the mfam.gg platform, is that a lot, and right now, if you don't know, Huskers is having his House of the Moon or whatever it is tournament.
Right.
And so a lot of these people are trying to host their own tournaments, and they have to host it with Excel spreadsheets, or they have to partner with a different type of platform. This eliminates all that. Tournaments are coming soon. So as you know, we've built tournament platforms in the past.
Yes, we have.
And so we're adding a tournament platform into this platform, so that anyone can create their own tournaments right from their own network. So if they're going to host any tournaments, they could host it right from here.
Got it.
And yeah, like I said, you could see that storefront's coming soon, but I already showed you the storefront.
Yep.
So in a nutshell, that's pretty much the network, Bill.
So Silver, that was really, really informative. I really like all of the tools that you have right there. And right there at the end, you're talking about tournaments, you're talking about storefront. I think that the fact that you're going to integrate a tournament platform for each individual creator will just reinforce their community and allow them to grow it. Because if, for example, I mean, I've done those Warzone tournaments with you. That's a really good way to grow because you're giving people something to do, and then people can watch other people play that are good at it in your community, and then they can grab highlights. And say, hey, I was hanging out in Silver's Warzone tournament. Man, you got to see this clip, and they're like, oh, he puts on his own tournaments, yeah, all the time, man. You got to check this out. So then being able to build your community in not just one way through content, but ways through the other things that you do, tournaments and your non-gaming stuff. You know, we talked about that right there. We talked about that when you're showing me the site itself. I mean, if people love anime and they want to find out more from you specifically, that's a great way to do it. And so you're really giving creators multiple ways to grow their communities and create those segments, and then be able to properly measure those segments. And I'm really excited to see where this goes with the storefront. You talked about a gamification with the badges. You talked about the kind of like social, I guess you call it a social rating system, which gives people the option, you know, to say this person, you know, I've dealt with this person before in this community, didn't like the interaction. And maybe that person just wants to say, look, I just dealt with this person before. I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just letting you know what happened. And that's also nice too, because your community, you know, can give you the heads up of, hey, this person could be a problem. And that's an easy way for you as mods, as the owner of your network, can see things before they happen and kind of shut things down before it gets out of control, right?
Absolutely. And
Right.
so again, we wanted it seems like there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
But when you start breaking it down and using it, believe me, there's a lot of good in there, you know. And so all that stuff that we've included,
Right.
you know, with the exception of tournaments, can be used by any content creator, and that goes into music.
Yep. Okay.
That goes into you know, that goes beyond music into art. Maybe you're an artist, and like I said, we talked about digital graphics, right? But what
Right.
about the actual physical graphics, right? And so people create art, and maybe they want somewhere to be able to show it off and sell it, and so they
Right.
could put it in the marketplace where people can auction it, or they could just straight up buy it. And so we wanted to make sure that we created this, and this network can be used by management too. So those that manage
Right.
content creators, they can actually come here and have the ability to create this for their own people and be able, and it makes it easier to manage one platform for them
Yeah.
versus managing 5 or 6 platforms for each creator.
Wow. Wow.
So again, so we wanted to make sure that we thought of, you know, we really took a 30-foot view of the situation and took our years of experience in the
Right.
gaming esports industry and content creation industry, and understood by talking to people in the music industry. And believe me, I've talked to a lot of people from the music industry
Right.
from all over, and not just startup musicians, but I mean musicians that have been doing it, that, you know, I can't say their names, but
Right.
they've been doing it for a long time, you know.
Right.
And so again, and I've just like I talked to people that are building, you know, that are trying to find a way to sell their art better. And so yeah, so like I said, we've talked to a lot of different people. Right now I have NDAs with like 10 different groups.
Right.
And by that I mean companies that are looking from creating their own crypto to blockchain to, you know, digital art, digital asset trading, all that stuff. And so we are providing them a platform that will enable them to be able to trade any item also digitally through the platform because of blockchain, you know. So again, our platform is going to work for multiple avenues, not just the gaming community.
Right.
But that's where we're starting because that's what we know. And not to say that we won't, you know, this platform isn't built for other content creators outside of gaming.
Very nice. So, Silver, there's a lot here. I do have the distinct feeling that we'll be at some point in the future that you'll be back to give me some more information, and I think it would probably be really good content to kind of dive deep into 2 or 3 features and how and why creators will specifically benefit from your platform. So great stuff today. Great stuff. I'm more than willing to have you back anytime you want. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. So if people want to find you, how they find you, Sniper?
Very easy. Silver Sniper, and that's Sniper with a 3, not an E. So SNIP3R. And you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch. I stream on Twitch almost every day. Again. So yeah, our LinkedIn is just Silver Padilla. So yeah, wherever they want to find me, they can find me.
Perfect. And you see it on the screen right there, everybody, with the overlay. Playmotto.gg, @Playmotto on Twitter. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you very much, Sniper, for making time for me today, man. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks for having me, Bill. It's always a pleasure.
All right, everybody, please do like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. More of this stuff coming. I appreciate y'all being here, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you for tuning in today. You can find links to everyone on the show in the description below. Check out Bill the Conqueror on Twitch and Twitter to stay up to date on his thoughts and ideas about gaming culture.